Hi everyone, welcome to yet another collab with VIT-AP, WiOS, it's Women in Open Source, and we have Janhavi here. Janhavi, would you like to take over?
Hi. Hello everyone. I'm Janhavi. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to React X episode 2. Well, let me now share my screen. Yeah, hope you guys can see it. Is it? All right. Well, so we at WiOS in collaboration with Mr. Praveen Kumar have curated this workshop and he's going to upskill us on React.js this afternoon. Well, I'm pretty sure we would delve into various interesting topics, but before we do so, here's a brief introduction to React. React, also known as React.js or React.js, is a free and open source front-end JavaScript library for building user interfaces based on UI components. It is maintained by Meta, formerly Facebook, and a community of individual developers and companies. Well, here's the history. React was created by a software engineer at Facebook who released an early prototype of React called Fax.js. He was influenced by XHP, an HTML component library for PHP. It was first deployed on Facebook's news feed in 2011 and later on Instagram in 2012. It was open sourced in May 2013. React Native, which enables native Android, iOS, and UWP development with React, was announced in February 2015 and open sourced in March 2015. Well, here are some of the notable features. Declarative components, function components, class-based components, virtual DOM, lifecycle methods, JSX, architecture beyond HTML, and React hooks. React adheres to declarative programming paradigm. The developers design views for each state of an application, and React updates and renders components when data changes. React code is made of entities called components. Components can be rendered to a particular element in the DOM using the React DOM library. Function components are declared with a function that then returns some JSX. Another notable feature is the use of virtual DOM, that is document object model. React creates an in-memory data structure cache, computes the resulting differences, and then updates the browser's display DOM efficiently. This process is called reconciliation. This allows the programmer to write a code as if the entire page is rendered on each change, while the React libraries only render subcomponents that actually change. This selective rendering provides a major performance boost. Well, React does not attempt to provide a complete application library. It is designed specifically for building user interfaces and therefore does not include many of the tools some developers might consider necessary to build an application. This allows the choice of whichever libraries the developer prefers to accomplish tasks such as performing network access or local data storage. Common platforms for usage have emerged as the library matures. The project status can be tracked via the core team discussion forum. However, major changes to React go through the future of React repository issues and pull requests. This enables the React community to provide feedback on new potential features, experimental APIs, and JavaScript syntax improvements. All right, so this was a brief walkthrough on React.
Recording in progress.
And all right, so everyone who's on Zoom right now, so we have Praveen with us, who's from London, originally from Chennai, India. And he's a full stack developer specializing in JavaScript technologies, specifically React.js and Node.js. Also, he is an author, blogger, YouTuber, speaker, Guinness record holder, hackathon holder, hackathon hunter, ex-Microsoft professional, Accenture ambassador, and last but not the least, an open source contributor. Well, hello Praveen, welcome to ReactX episode 2.
Hello, hi.
And yeah, I've unshared my screen, you may now take over.
Thanks a lot for such a nice, awesome introduction. And thank you for giving the small brief about React. And to be honest, yes, I have never mentioned about Facts.js, which is one of the most earliest prototypes of React.js by Jordan Walker. And that was great. Thank you. And today, how many of you are excited? And one quick favor from my side, please. Can everyone go to this link in... I'm sending you in the Zoom. Would you like to open this link and then keep it on your screen, please? So that will also help, like we can all give a quick interactive talk in that, and we'll go ahead. So today we will be going for the advanced version of React. So I believe a lot of people would have known me from the previous one, like it was the initial stuff. We created something really cool. I don't remember what we did. Satvik, what did we do last time? But
last time we made a game kind of thing.
It's an escape room, right? Yeah, cool.
Yes.
So last time we made an escape room. Now this time I would like to ask everyone, how many of you are looking for jobs, and how cool it would be if we are creating a job portal using React. So that is about the whole application today. And we'll be adding a lot of features like login system, authorization using a backend API. So initially we'll start with like a 5 or 10 minutes quick look into the different combinations what we will be doing. Like for example, we'll be using Express.js for the backend, or we can even switch to PHP and MySQL, but whichever you feel like. This is not the main core idea today, but what we will be doing is we will be trying to use a backend to create an API side of things. A login screen will help, and then we'll also do the job portal side of things. Okay, so we are going to create a simply like a Naukri.com or TotalJobs.com kind of a clone, but not exactly the clone of it. So we will be able to learn what are all the different things that React uses to make this particular application possible. And not that alone, you will also understand the application as a whole, like the language as a whole. So this is what we are going to do. And any questions, any comments, please keep yourself interactive in the live chat and the YouTube chat. And for Zoom people, I guess we can all use the YouTube chat as a single point of like learning or something like that. And that would be really cool to know like what all things that you are working on, like what would be the questions. I want everyone to be very interactive. And by the way, did I mention that you will be getting some cool goodies from me in case if you are extremely interactive? So make sure you are interactive, and let's go for it. Timing for today's bootcamp. I have no clue what you're talking about, HSR. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the thing. Okay, wait, Satvik, do you know anything about the timing for the bootcamp? Or Janhavi?
Yeah, I think an hour and a half. I think that's how long it goes.
No. Timing for the bootcamp. They're asking about the bootcamp timings. What bootcamp are you talking about, HSR? Yeah, it's confusing. Okay, so right, let's directly jump on into the today's stuff. So we'll start with the Express stuff I said, right? Okay, so before that, let me quickly share my screen and show you a couple of things, and then we will go ahead with everything. Okay, so is everyone able to see the screen? Can you please confirm?
Yeah, we can see it.
Cool. HSR, this is not DDD, HSR. It's WiOS. So I have been working with a lot of different communities. Let's not get confused between all those things, and don't confuse Janhavi as well. All right. So he's talking about something totally different, which is not related to our current stuff. Anyway, so I believe everyone is able to see the screen. So the first thing that we are going to work on is trying to create an Express.js thing. But before that, our cams are like looking totally bad. So I'm just going to put these two on the left side so that looks far better. Right? Okay, cool. Nice. So the first thing that we are going to do is, what is Express? And before that, hey, for those people who have no clue who I am, hi friends, I'm Praveen Kumar. I'm originally from Chennai, India, currently living and working in London for one of the top US banking US-based investment banking firms. So I'm a cat lover, I'm a cook, I'm a mentor, I'm a full stack developer, I'm a front-end engineer, etc. My specialization is full stack JavaScript specialization, specializing in React and Node.js. So this is my website. I want every one of you who is watching this to create a simple portfolio just like this. Yes, this is very simple. There is a huge banner and it has all the Facebook, all these places. And I believe I have already shown you my website. So in case if you want to see the complete stuff, just go to praveen.science and this is about the website. And please make sure you are having one thing as well. And for the development tools that I'm using, if you go for Praveen Dev Environment, this is what I'm using in my development side of things. So let me quickly explain what all things that we will be using today. So basically, I'll be using Google Chrome for all the user interface and browser related stuff. Since we are working with React DevTools is a must. So make sure you get React DevTools from Google Chrome extensions. And Zoom is where I kind of like try to stream the whole thing and also talk with people and do all these things. So whenever you want to go travel through time, like do you wish that there should be a time machine? So Git is the right time machine that we will be using as what do you call this? A time machine to travel back in time to go back to your working code. So Git is awesome. So we'll be using Git for the whole thing, and you can also travel through time. iTerm 2 and is one of the most like I don't think it is valid anymore. It's for Mac machine. I am using a Macintosh machine. So in case if you are using Mac, you can try out iTerm 2. Sublime Text and virtual Sublime Text is for mostly HTML editing. In case if you like it, these are a couple of plugins that I use. VirtualBox, Vagrant, Scotchbox, Adminer, all these things are LAMP stack development related stuff. Meld is a diff compare tool, a visual diff compare tool that I use. Coming to the right thing right now, it's the Node.js. Node.js is the environment. It's the JavaScript runtime environment. Other than this place, other than the browser where JavaScript gets executed, it's on Node. So if you want to execute JavaScript out of the browser, you will be using Node.js, and we'll be using Node.js to run the React applications, run the Express applications, the backend server side, etc. So all these things will be done by Node.js. And apart from these things, there are other useless stuff. And there is one more thing called Typora. Typora is really awesome, and it helps you in creating cool README pages and Stack Overflow posts, etc. Anything and anywhere, wherever GitHub flavored Markdown is supported, Typora is going to help you out. For example, let's say today's stuff, what we are going to do is advanced React JS, React X, episode 2. So something like this. So what are we going to learn? Let's learn something. Okay, let's learn about creating a job portal. This is a full stack JavaScript. Okay, full stack React.js application. JavaScript, which involves React.js and Node.js application. So today we'll be concentrating only on React.js. The Node.js part is just going to be for like small helper to you. And we are going to format these things using Control B or Command B in case if you're on Mac. And all these things will give you generate you a awesome Markdown thing. So if you ever would like to go for a Markdown related stuff, or what should I say? If you want to go to Markdown, if you want to write a Markdown, or if you are a blog writer or something like that, try to use Typora. Typora is awesome. You can do unordered lists and etc. And you can also make this into an ordered list by putting one hello world or something like this. And it also supports all the code formats, etc. So for example, if you are writing a React code, just put it here. And I'll be explaining about my, what do you call this? My IDE, etc. in a few seconds. But at the same time, I'll also let you know how the whole thing works. So let me open up my IDE. I'm using Visual Studio Code. So let's say I have a React based component here or something like that. So it also supports all the syntax formatting and everything. So if I try to do export default and put app here, you can see that the color is also changing with whatever it says and stuff like that. So it provides literally everything out of box. So Typora is really awesome. So in case if you are writing blogs or something, consider writing using Typora. And we can also do we can also write our README using Typora. So we'll try to do that. So this is Visual Studio Code. That is what I'm going to use to work with all the applications. And just give me a second. I guess it has some updates. Yes, let me restart to update. So in the meantime, please tell me your questions. In case of any questions will be there, I'm happy to answer. Aditya, don't worry, you're not late today. You are in the right time. So you did not miss anything. Hi, Darshan. Hi, Arbaz and other things. Arbaz, you won something really cool. So go check out, connect with me on LinkedIn and say that I said that you won something during the live stream of Advanced React JS. I'll just get you something cool because you're the first one who messaged in the chat, which I asked, if anyone wants a $25 worth of gift, go ahead and message. So you are the first one, so you won it. You and HSR. HSR, if you have a quick second, you can also message me. All right, cool. So coming back to our stuff, let me try to find out which one I should be using. Cool. So here we go. This is the complete stuff which I'm using. This is the let me close this and let me quickly switch off our head cams or whatever dash cams you say something, and let me open a new window. So this one is the Visual Studio Code's interface. So we have got literally everything in VS Code. I don't require another browser or GitHub or anything to make it work. So I will be using just VS Code for everything, that is the reason I like it a lot. But currently with Visual Studio Code, I've got a couple of things that I have been using. So these are the 8 extensions that I have got with me. And in case if you want to copy and paste all these extensions or something like that, all the configuration or something, you can just use this dot file, and this dot file contains the complete configuration. Okay, before anything, I'll tell you what are all those extensions called. So these are the 8 extensions that I'm using, which is Cobalt 2, ES7, React Redux, GraphQL snippets, and stuff like that. Then we have ESLint, Git History, Git Lens, Prettier, To-Do Tree, VS Code icons. Out of all these things, Cobalt 2 theme is just a theme. It's useless. VS Code icons, it's just going to give you nice, beautiful icons. Again, that is useless. So look at these parts. So they are just getting a nice icon. That's it. To-Do Tree, again, another useless plugin which shows all the to-dos in your application. That's it. Okay, 3 useless things. Leave these things. The next thing is Prettier Code Formatter. I'll just show you a small demo of how Prettier works. So let's say I have a small code snippet which says, let's have const a equal to b. It's an arrow function where I'm putting b.map c. And inside this, we'll do const b equal to b of c, return b, something like this. So the maximum time I have used the semicolon is just here. And if you see that I have used a lot of parentheses, no spaces anywhere except that const and return and another const. Now the fun part is, this is not actually human readable or human friendly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the whole thing and I'm just going to change the syntax of this to JavaScript. And then if I just cut it, paste it again, you can see how it automatically organized everything. The first thing is it gave all the spaces that are required, and you have got the, sorry, let me put on my cam and other things. And we have got our, you don't need a parenthesis here in front and back of B. And it automatically inserted all the semicolons. There are totally 4 semicolons here, but I have put only 1 semicolon. This is what Prettier does. So it automatically formats the whole thing, which is human readable. At the same time, it is properly indented, etc. So that is about Prettier. And apart from Prettier, we have ESLint. Prettier actually works with ESLint to make all these pretty changes. And there is Git Lens and Git History. Git Lens is really cool about blaming things. Yeah, we like to blame people, right? So look at this. Every single line, when you go over it, it shows who did it at what. That is the reason I use this. And finally, coming to Git history, you don't need to go to GitHub page anymore. Everything can be managed from inside your VS Code. So that's about all the extensions that I have been using. And finally, coming to this ES7 React Redux snippets, let me select React.js. Do you want a class component? Boom, here's the class component. Do you want a functional component? Here's a functional component with the arrow component. Do you want anything else? Console.log. Here's a console.log. So all these things are provided with ES7 React Redux snippets. And this is available using like all those shortcuts are available here. So just make sure that you have got this installed so that you can make yourself very productive. And that's about all my 8 different extensions. Any questions or any, how was it? And wow, Sundar Pichai is here today. Hey, Sundar, you totally missed the yesterday's live stream that we had, which had like really, really awesome. So yeah, cool. Any questions at all? Okay, seems like everyone is happy. Everything is going on well. Nice. All right, so let's directly jump into our agenda. Our first agenda is like, let me put the agenda here itself. We have a README here, right? So this is what we are doing. So we are learning to create a complete job portal. It's a full stack React.js application. The backend will be, okay, so I'll start with agenda for today. So the first thing is we will be working with creating an Express.js application. This is the server-side application. For those people who are not into server-side, you will be getting an idea of how this whole thing gets created. Then start with React installation and branding part. So branding part includes adding bootstrap and fonts, updating the public HTML. Okay, so this is what we will be working with first. And the next thing that we will be working on is authentication. What else did I promise actually? So let me have a quick look at those things. I never forget you, Sundar. How can anyone forget you? Sanket, yes, I do remember. We used to talk in, we are talking in LinkedIn as well, right? Okay, so we will be working on creating a simple job portal, a navigation and routing using single page application formats. We'll be firing AJAX calls and service calls, AJAX calls to the service calls, and the services will be really the endpoint of this full stack application using Express.js. I don't know whether we can do the two-factor authentication, but at the same time, what I can do is there is this memorable info trick which we saw long time before, which was employed in Lloyd's Bank. So I was working with Lloyd's Bank so that I can show you this particular thing, and sign in, sign up, sign out, all these things we can do. Okay, so I hope everyone is excited to learn. To start with, can every one of you put your knowledge about React and Node.js in the chat, please? Out of 5, how much would you rate yourself for React applications? React.js, basic front end, JavaScript. These 3 things, out of 5, how much you would be rating yourselves? So let's add this one. So that's our README file. So first thing what we will start with is create a, okay, this is part of Praveen's YouTube live stream with OS VIT-AP. So let's take the link. Oh, actually, that's the link. It looks nice. Okay. Hey, wow. Sundar is doing React Native. I thought you were an Angular person, right? You're working as a CEO of the Google, so you should be working on Angular JS. So let's link it here and create a GitHub repository. Okay, so we will start with creating a GitHub repository, and let's go with that. So for those people who are watching in Zoom, please, can you also check out the YouTube thing so that it helps me and others as well. So start adding comments and other things. So that will actually help everyone who is present in the YouTube. Okay, so here's my, yeah, sorry, go on.
Nothing, I was just replying to what you were saying.
Okay, so here's my profile. So I'm going to create a new repository, and this is the way to create a new repository. So we'll be giving a good name. We can say job portal React full stack WiOS. Cool. So now we will just type in part of Praveen's. Okay, actually we can copy it from this one. Cool. And I'm not touching any of these things. And then I'm just clicking on create a repository. And with the README thing, so I'm just going to go with readme.md. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the whole stuff here. So the preview shows you this way. Looks really nice. And here's our GitHub repository as well. So let me add this in the link. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the questions. Sundar, Google Glasses when? Know how to write JavaScript variable and responsive website using HTML, CSS, and Python. That's nice. Beginner, okay, good. You're doing React Native, great. 3.5, yeah. Angular is crash, I told my dev also. Cool. Now Sundar is with SRE team. SRE is System Reliability Engineering, Sundar. Don't expose yourself to become a fake Sundar Pichai, man. Shrikaran, yeah. Okay, super. Yeah, cool. No more comments. So let's go ahead and start working on this. So here's the link for this. So make sure you want to, in case if you want to take a bookmark or something like that, or if you want to clone it, you can do it. Okay, so now we start with the basic stuff. So if I go to click this first thing, there is this Explorer part. In this Explorer, I will be able to open a new folder or clone a repository. So what we will be doing is, I'm just going to copy here. Oh, cancel. Let's edit this again and create a GitHub repository. So I'm just going to create this repository link. And then the second thing is creating the Express.js server and other things, right? Create a README. So now we need to clone this repository. What I would generally do is copy this part and go back to this and paste it here. So you see that this is the github.com and this HTTP side of things, right? Here I'm going to put my username here, irrespective of what is there here. So I'm just going to use this as the thing and clone repository. Do not get lured away by using this clone from GitHub. Do not click it. Use clone from URL and click on this. So this will ask you where exactly you want it to be hosted or cloned. I'm just going to use my works folder and then switch on the open button. Okay, now I can see that I have got my README file here. Cool. And I can also see a preview here. So I really don't need this GitHub or anything else. I just need only VS Code. Okay, now the first thing that we need to do is we need to do two things. First thing, the server side. Second thing, the client side. So for starting with the server side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder called server. And how many of you want me to use the git command line or the git GUI? please let me know your options. I know Sundar, you are real. Okay. So go ahead. Command line or GUI. And what do you tell Janhavi? Do you want a command line or GUI?
A GUI probably.
GUI. Okay. All right. So you said GUI. Let's go with GUI for now, and we will also add the command line parts. So to create a web server or using React, I'm going to start with app.js, or we can just go with server.js. And this is the server.js I want to run as a node application. So what I will be doing is I'll go ahead with a new terminal. Let me split the terminal into two. So we have one side, we have client, and one side we have server. Okay. So if I say clg console.log women in open source, and then I go to the server, and then I put node server. It says women in open source. But if I change something, let's say comma VIT-AP, I have to again run the node server. So we can see that it is actually getting displayed. So this is the server side running code. Now, first thing is we need to create a package here. So we will be using npm init. But before that, I want to also create one more thing called .gitignore, which is actually helpful in removing all these node modules and other useless things that are not supposed to be version controlled. Okay. So I'm using this GUI for now. Created basic code on server side. Okay, this is not actually a server side code. We will make it into a server side code. I'm going to get rid of everything. But first thing, what I want to do is I want to initialize a package. So I will do npm init. So this utility will be walking you through creating a package.json file. It only covers the most common items. So let's start with this. Package name server, happy with it. Version 1.0, happy with it. Description. This is the server side version of the, or server side component of the job application portal. Entry point is server.js, test command nothing, git repository nothing. Keywords we can say server node.js. What else do we have? Express JS backend. Author, it's me. License ISC. Am I happy with the code that's been generated? Yes, that's it. So that's all we have done in the server side part. Now we would be having something called as a package.json. So a package.json is something that is going to be helping you with creating creating JavaScript packages. So first thing, what do we need package.json for? To add different packages, right? So the first thing that we need is the Express.js applications. So Express.js is the one which we will be using for currently for today's backend. So this is not something that we will be working on a lot because we are mainly working on the React.js side of things. Okay. I'm just going to do npm install express. Not only just express, I'm also going to do nodemon, Morgan, and course. Oh, Morgan course. And then there is something called as express session as well. This is for session handling in Express. So you are signing in, signing out, all those things. This will be handled by Express session. Is this the keyboard cat one? Yeah, this is the one. Cool. So let's add these things. Any questions so far? So we are installing a couple of software so far. That's it. That's all we are doing. Let me quickly look into the chat and see if there is anything that people have missed it. Oh, it's all done. So what we will do is let's use the command line here. I'm going to use git add dot. So it's going to add everything. Now it's going to say I need to commit it. So I'm going to put, I'm going to tell like saying like added packages on server side. And then I'm pressing escape to go into the command line mode of Vim and then colon WQ so that I can write it and quit it. So this is what I did. So now I can sync all these changes. And if I go to my page here and refresh this page, I could see that there is server folder, and we have got this added packages on the server side. If you go to this one, we could see that whatever we have done this so far. So we have got COR as Express Session, Nodman, Morgan, Nodeman, everything is there here. Cool. So let me quickly have a look at the comments. Getting better. Always it is better to start with the server side before doing the create React app. We are not creating the React app at this point, this very point. We'll be using the Express version. And can everyone please hit the like button for this one and hit the subscribe so that it is going to be very helpful for a lot of people. Thank you so much. Today only CLI, yeah. Okay, cool. So I just showed you an example of how CLI works, and let's go ahead with the next stuff. So now to create a simple Express.js application, so this is a backend REST API application. The first step is to import our Express application. So we'll do const express equal to require Express. Then with this one, we will create a new application, new app equal to Express. And this app needs to listen somewhere. So app.listen, it needs to listen to some kind of a port address. So we'll use const port equal to 5000 and let the app listen in the port. And once it starts listening, we need to know, right? So we'll say console log server started in port. Cool. So this is the basic thing. But before we start the npm start, we need to set the start thing. So the start will be, instead of node server, it's going to be nodemon server, because we don't want to refresh every single time. Let me show you how this works. So if I do npm start, server started in port 5000. So if I go back to my browser and type in localhost 5000, you could see that it says cannot get slash. Right? So we need to make some kind of a get function here. So if I do any kind of changes here, okay, before that, let me save this. So every time I save, it restarts everything. Okay. So created an empty Express app. Now if I do app.listen slash, and this takes in a request and response, and we'll do rest dot let's say hello or something like this. And if I refresh this, oh, sorry, it's not app.listen, it's app.get. So if I refresh this page, I could see hello here. Sorry, I just copied and pasted everything, I believe. That's the reason it went on this way. So app.get, you're going to get this hello, and you're here. Okay, so we have got the slash here, but we really need app.get slash API slash users slash something. And we'll try to use req res, and then rest.json. So we'll be sending out current logged in user. Okay, so when we do slash API slash users, this should show you the current logged in users. Otherwise, it will not show anything else. Okay, so this is a basic front end, basic backend API which I have created. So basic routing of the backend API done. Okay. So now we'll go with the create React app and other things. So when we go to the create React app, what we will be doing is we'll be creating a new folder called client. So npx create React app, and then I'm going to give a client as the folder. So let this run for a while. Until then, if there is any questions, I'm going to answer them. How are you getting motivation to do videos when only few people are watching? If I can know what motivates you, I hope it will motivate me too. So I love teaching others, irrespective of whether someone is watching it right now or later. I'm going to do this, and if it is going to help at least one person, I'm more than happy to do this. That's the reason. Any other questions, folks? And please be interactive in the chat so that I can give you some goodies, awesome goodies. And one more thing, if you want to win something really cool, okay, let me try. Okay, I've got a Google Play thing for 50 pounds here, which is not even opened, and this is a new one which I can give away. But I want it to be like very interactive. That is the only thing which I'm asking everyone. Yeah, Ashwin, that's true as well. So some of the best live streams will be having only very few views. But yeah, I'm on the way. So please give a like, thumbs up, and share it with your friends. I guess that is one of the main reasons why I don't get any views, because not many people know about me. So once you get this happy hacking dialog box or like happy hacking message, you are done with the React application. So the React application is now in the client side. You would be seeing exactly 18 number of changes in this. So what we are going to do is we will try to do created a basic React app using create CRA. Cool. So that's what we are going to do now. So we have done that, syncing the changes. All the changes are synced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open client, and this is our web browser. I'm going to put npm start. In a few seconds, you'll see that the site gets started. I did not open the browser or anything. It automatically does everything for us. So boom, edit src/app.js and save to reload. Cool, I can do that. So what happens here is, so if I try to go to the app.js, and if I do, let's say, hello WiOS, and then if I do a save, look at that. I did not do a refresh or anything. The moment I press the save, I could get hello WiOS. And if I just do discard one file, here's my left hand, here's my right hand. I did not press the refresh key. It has become learn React. Cool. So that's good thing about React. It has got something called as Webpack Dev Server, and it has got a hot module replacement. That is what actually does all these things. So if you go to the console and refresh this page, you could see a small thing that says, okay, the latest version of React doesn't have this, but how does this do? There is a WebSocket here, and it has all these things. The last one is OK. So if I just save it once again, you can see that the OK, after OK, there is invalid, and there is something called as still OK. This is nice. I guess they have improved a lot of things here. Now if I do WiOS and save, now it has become invalid and OK. Now if I try to undo this change and discard it, it makes it invalid and OK. And if I just save it once again, it says OK. If I save it just once again, it shows still OK. Okay, these are new things that I'm just looking at right now, which is cool. So this is the latest React version, which actually uses a Webpack module here. So I haven't seen these things like right now. So this is something totally new here. So I'll need to check what is happening with the latest version of React, and we'll talk about it later in a different video. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to discard all these changes and start with creating the next stuff. Just give me a second. So where is our agenda? So this is what we are planning to do, right? So the first thing is we are going to do the branding part. So before that, we want to reorganize everything that was loaded using the client side using CRA. So all these folders, all these files are in the same folder, which might be a bit confusing for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it in the Finder, and inside the client, you have these folders. Okay. So you have a public folder, you have a SRC folder. These two folders are the main folders that you will be using. Node modules is a huge folder, which is about 300 MB size, and it is used by React for storing all these different things, used by Node for storing all these dependencies, and we don't need to consider anything inside that. And coming to the SRC folder, let's create a couple of folders. Components, styles, assets, services, and tests. Okay, so we have got 5 folders here. So where does app.css go? Technically, it should go to the styles folder, but we will put it in the trash can. App.js is a component file, so let it go to the components. Now, the moment I change anything, it's going to throw some errors. So if I go back to my React page, you could see that there's a huge error coming in here. Okay, cool. So this is what happens here. And let's try to change all these things. Now we have got app.test goes to the tests, index.css goes to the trash can, index.js, do not touch it because that is one of the main entry point for the React application, React scripts. We have logo.svg, we don't need the logo of React, let's get rid of it. Now we need to fix the application. So let's go through one by one. First thing, let's try to fix the app.js, app.js file. So in our components, we have the app.js. I'm going to get rid of everything. I'm going to put a React arrow functional component with export. And we don't need this import React from React anymore. So let's put app. Let's put a H1 saying job portal, something like this. So now if we go back to our stuff and see what is happening, still we have some problems. Let's wait for the problems to be resolved. So the next thing that we will be working on is trying to make the index file look good. So if we go back to our index, so we don't have this index.css, and app is here in the components. So if we save this, boom, we have something called job portal, and right click and inspecting, we'll be seeing something called as components here. In this components, you'll be able to see that there is app here. Okay, cool. Any questions so far? Please give me attendance link, Sarah. Enna attendance link? Just give me a second. Janhavi, do you have an attendance link to be shared?
Let me check if I have access to that.
All right.
No,
so don't worry, you will be getting the attendance link in a few seconds.
Yeah, sure.
No. We don't have any attendance link.
Okay, we don't have any attendance link. Thank you, Satvik, for confirming that. So Sanjay, your attendance is already marked, man. You are here. We can see you. So don't worry. That's cool. What else is there? What are we making in this tutorial with React.js? Okay, so for those people who have just joined, let me quickly open up the agenda and show you all. So we have got this one. So we are going to create a complete job portal. How many of you are like looking for a new job or something like that? We are going to create a job portal here, and we'll be we just created a GitHub repository. We just created a Express.js application server. It is for the backend REST API, and we will start with the React installation, branding part, etc. So the complete thing is about like we are creating a job portal with single page navigation, and we'll be firing Ajax calls to the services in the backend, and we will try to do this memorable info trick in logging in. And finally, we have the sign up, sign in, and sign out. This is what we are going to do. Okay. Any questions with respect to what we are going to do or how we are going to do? And I explained about all the backend side of things, and I also explained about what kind of things that I'm using in my front end, like for the IDE and other things. Okay, so we have got all these folders done. Now let's see, the React application works, but we are not sure whether the React test is working. So let's do npm test. It is going to fail because this particular application is not found. So we'll go to the tests and we'll use /components/app, and here renders the app. And what did we write here? Job portal. So this is some text element, and we'll use job portal here. And let's save it. And if we try to run the npm test again, oh, got it. Let's go to the client. That's my fault. And run npm test. For some reason, I saw this as well. There is some issues coming with the test, with the latest testing library. We'll just ignore this one and then leave it. Okay. So that is done. The whole application seems to be working fine. So what we are going to do is reorganized and remove the clutter from CRA. Cool. The next thing that we are going to do now is, let me push the changes again. Let me check any comments or anything. Yeah, I mean, like I could understand that people are like very much into this online classes and other things. People are just coming for attendance or certificates, which is very bad. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a day when students genuinely come for learning something new and then implementing that. Because guess what is the salary of a React.js fresher in London? Let me ask Janhavi. Janhavi, what do you think would be the starting salary of a React.js fresher? So in simple terms, let's say I'm teaching you React.js completely, Janhavi, and you are still in the studying in VIT. You are graduating, let's say next year, and next year you are getting an opportunity or an option to apply for jobs in London. Okay, let's say I'm referring you or something like that. What would be your first starting salary if you are applying for a React.js developer?
Somewhere between 80 to 90 euros, something like that.
Sorry, we divorced from
80K.
Europe. we have divorced from Europe's, so we won't be using euros. We are using pounds.
Okay. So
okay, do you know
the currency over there?
Okay, do you know the currency conversion? How much is 1 pound to rupees?
I think it's about 100 or 110.
It is 100. It is 100.
Yeah.
Cool, that's correct. And tell me the salary. Let's say annual salary for a fresher React.js, or for you if you're applying for a React role as a fresher, you don't have any experience, you're applying for the first time in London. How much would you think you will be getting offered the salary?
Annual salary.
Annual salary, yes. Say in Indian rupees or pounds. Just let me know clearly.
All right, I'll just think over it. I think.
Okay. In the meantime, this question is for everyone, so feel free to comment in, like send it in the chat message. Don't Google it, but send it in the chat message. Anyone who is getting a close number, you will be getting a goodies from me.
Right, let me go with 80K pounds.
18 or 80?
80.
Even I'm not getting that much money, buddy. 80K is like 80 lakhs per annum.
All right, is that too much?
For a fresher, right? Nice ambition. Seriously, nice ambition.
All right, so about 50K or 40K pounds.
You're almost near. It is 35K per annum.
Okay.
Wait, looks like not a single person actually won the challenge which I gave. So I was telling, even now, I was planning to give this 50 pounds. It is worth how much? You tell me. At least this one, give me a correct answer now.
£50. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that would be 5,000 INR.
Yeah, 5,000 rupees worth of gift card, but no one won it in the chat side. It's all right. All right, cool. So yeah, that was great. But the fun part is not a single person even answered it. That is the tragic part. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start with something cool. So we have got our job portal, the normal job portal here. What we want to do is, first thing, if you see here on the tab, we could see that there is like a React thing, the React icon. Those things are like not good. So what we will do is we'll start with a nice icon. It's about job portal, right? So let's go to flaticon.com and try to search for jobs. Where and all we are going and searching for jobs. Look at our situation. So this looks nice. Everyone like this style? Is it looking good? This picture. I'm just going to copy this image or maybe use the image address. I'm just going to quickly do a small thing. This is to create a small stuff like this. Cool. And I need another image. Let's say a nice background. This looks nice, like really nice. Let's see some nice background. Okay. We'll just go with this one. Oh no. Let's go with this. So was it 512 by 512? Yes, this is 512 by 512. And let's use this image here. And now what we are going to do is we're just taking a small screenshot of the same. So 512 minus 20 is what? It's 492. That kind of looks okay. So I'll just take this as a screenshot. So it should also be 20 because it's supposed to be centered. And cool, here we go. So this is going to be our favicon. So a lot of things you will be learning through this. So we are creating a favicon, and that will be used for the image and stuff. So I'm just going to save it as in the desktop. I'll save it as logo 512. I can also save this as logo 192 because we will be having two logos. Okay, so logo 512 and logo 192. Those two things are the same file. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up something called as real favicon. Okay, sorry, favicon generator. This is favicongenerator.org. So not this one. So go to the third link, which is the favicongenerator.org. So I'm going to choose this file and then create the favicon. Not exactly this, sorry. Generate only 16x16, create the favicon, download the generated favicon. So I've got this generated favicon. What am I going to do with these things? I am just going to replace all these files in the public folder here. Okay. So we have got this favicon.ico, logo 192, logo 5 all, right? So I'm just going to use these 3 files, put this inside this. Never delete all these files, but make sure you replace them. So once you replace it, you can see that it has become the React app, the job portal that we wanted. So what we did just now is updated the icons. This is a part of branding. The next thing that we are going to do is go open the index.html in the client/public folder. And here we have our meta tags and everything here. So now what we will be using here is, let's change the description. Full stack React app for job portal. We can call it as WiOS job portal, something like this. So now we have just changed the heading. Now we can also add some nice things like a bootstrap CSS. So bootstrap is mainly used for adding responsiveness to the application and stuff like that. So let's see. Any other questions? Any questions? Is it going good or boring? Like, I want to hear it from all the people who are watching right now. Is it going good, boring? Should I go slow? Should I go fast? Please tell me what should I do. It's completely like no one is messaging in the chat. I know everyone is like engrossed, but yeah, just put some messages. And feel free to message on the YouTube chat so that you will be getting some nice goodies. Right, so let's go ahead and start with getting the bootstrap part. So if you go to getbootstrap.com, you'll be able to see all the documentation, and here is the CSS. Since Bootstrap 4 uses jQuery, which is a DOM manipulation library, we are not going to use the JavaScript of Bootstrap, but only the CSS just for the styles. And we also want a nice font. So we'll go with fonts.google.com and get a good font here. Let's start with any font selections that you have got. Any idea, anything that you would like me to use? It should be professional looking. I like Nunito Sans. It's really good. So these are the different fonts that we can see in Google Fonts. Hey, even this looks nice. Saira condensed. So let's see what people say. Poppins.
That looks good.
Let's see how Poppins looks like. Poppins looks nice. So we can go with Poppins. Thank you, whoever suggested it. I guess it was Sushmita. Okay, Shubham says Bablu. What is Bablu like? No, I couldn't find any fonts called Bablu. Okay, so we'll just go with Poppins. And this is Poppins, and let's have the thin version. Should we have a thin version? No. Let's go with the light version, regular version, 500. Like, I guess it's semi-bold version. I guess semi-bold is 600. Let's go with these 3 versions, and let's copy this link. Add it over here. And we need to use this particular thing for adding this thing. Okay, cool. So what we did so far, updated the public HTML. So we started with added Google Fonts, Poppins, added Bootstrap, CSS framework. So we have done this. The next thing is about styling. So styling, what we will be doing here is, let's say we have got, so there are 2 options that we can do. we can either use CSS or something that I like. It's called SCSS. So let's go for and see what exactly SCSS means. So let's say you have got, let me show you a small magic here. So if we have a HTML page, let's say we have a page that has something like this. There is a logo, there is a header, there is a H1, there is a logo, there is a nav, UL, LI, 3 nav bar buttons. How long do you think it will take you for writing the code for this? Just the HTML code. Just a quick question. So I'll also check what will be happening for me. So I'm going to start exactly at 45. Okay. So that's my doc type. I need a header. Inside the header, there's a H1. Inside the H1, there is a A. Inside the A, there is a logo. Next to the H1, there is a nav. In the nav, there is a UL. There is a LI. There are 4 list items for LI. And there is a A, which has nav 1, 2, 3, and 4. Boom. So it took me 13 seconds to create something like, 25 seconds, 28 seconds, something like that, to create something like this. So if you want to create so how is this? How many of you know already how to do this particular thing? It's a snippet. It's not a snippet, or it's not something like, it's something called as emmet, and that is how you should be using. So Shubham, I tried searching in front of you on Google Fonts. We couldn't see that. So unfortunately, that font is not available in Google Fonts. So I was talking about Google Fonts. Try to use Chakra UI. I have no clue about Chakra UI, but definitely, yes, I will try to learn it and see it. Hey, thank you so much, Mohammed Sameem. All right, cool. Right then. So this is called emmet. You can learn about emmet here. So it's called emmet.io, and where you will be doing something like, wait, let me clear all my scribbles. So this is a demo here. So all you need to do is write a CSS like abbreviation and give a tab. So CSS like abbreviation is UL hash nav, which is ID nav, dot item is class item. These dollar things, I'll show you what exactly this does. Giving an expansion will give you something like this. So what exactly is this? Where exactly can I find all these things? Head over to the documentation. Don't worry, I'm also the lazy person. I don't want you to read the whole documentation, but there is something called a cheat sheet. So this cheat sheet is going to give you a lot of information about what all things that I used. I used the child navigation. I used the star multiplication operator. I used the sibling operator. I used the item numbering operator. I use the grouping operator, etc. And also I use this HTML5 operator as well, like HTML5. For this, all I need to do is a simple thing. This is the one which I used. Cool. So I hope this was helpful. It is called emmet. I'm sending this link in the YouTube chat. Cool. What is next? Let's try to find out. So now let's start building the application. So for making things faster, what I'm going to do is, oh, I totally forgot about Poppins. So fonts.google.com. I need to change my keyboard. Sorry. Okay, so all I need to do is copy this one. Okay, so before that, we were talking about CSS. If you want to write a CSS for a page, a HTML code like this, what you will generally do, you start with, let's copy this whole part and Sassmeister. So for a CSS for a HTML like this, the CSS that you probably write is, you start with header, okay, and then you start with header space H1 Okay, header space h1 space a. I'm already getting bored now. Okay, there should be a better way to do it. Header h1 a. Then after this nav ul li a. So if I just put a comment in each line, boom, I've got what I wanted to do, right? So when I try to create, let's say 17 lines of code input, I'm getting 21, not even 17 lines, 16 lines of code input, I'm getting 21 lines of code output. So on the left side, you see SCSS, on the right side, you see CSS. Which should I go with? SCSS or CSS? Not only that, you can also do some functions in CSS, SCSS. It's called mixins. And let's say link. Let's put starts with this and ampersand colon hover. Why I'm using an ampersand? Because when I put a child, it gives a space. And if I just change this part, at include link. Boom, I've got this hover everything. Like literally everything has been created for me. So it generates based on whatever you have given. What is the pathway to master React.js? There is actually, as you said, Mohammed, there is actually a roadmap for it as well. Prerequisites will be HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and this ES6, the latest version of JavaScript. Let me quickly bring up to you the roadmap of anything, literally. So if you are going to roadmap.sh, you'll be able to find all these developer roadmaps. These are all super cool. And let me show you the React roadmap. Okay, damn, actually, I did not see that it is going over the time. Just notice that. So anyway, let me first show you the roadmap quickly. How many of you would like a second part of this? So that's the whole React roadmap. So this is in beta, so try to take it with a pinch of salt, but that's about this one. Okay, so this is mostly, we talked about how to set up your React application and everything. But this is the whole thing which I wanted to say as well. So we had we wanted to start with the React application. We should be going with a lot of things, but we are coming to, we just have another 15 minutes to go for. So in the meantime, what I can do is I can open up this session for like an ask me anything kind of a thing. So before that, I'll just complete the whole thing which I wanted to complete, a couple of things that I wanted to teach. So the first thing is Node SaaS. So npm install Node SaaS, because SCSS is not knowing, like React doesn't know SCSS or Node doesn't know SCSS, browser doesn't know SCSS. You need this particular library called Node SaaS to run or execute the SCSS thing. So what we are doing is we are just adding support for SCSS. And now let's create a quick SCSS file inside the styles called index.scss, and we will link this index.scss in the index.js. Cool. This is now linked. So let's give body. Here is where we will be putting this font face. Okay, cool. So now if we have a look at this one, we could see that it is Poppins. Right. And another thing which I wanted to share is you have this thing called, I have got this React Bootstrap helper. So I can just quickly create a Bootstrap element here for these things. All these things are Bootstrap 4, and we can actually use all these things. So before that, let's start with this one. So we just created a basic SCSS file for our app. And what we are going to do is, inside the index, okay. let's create a header. So inside our components, I'm going to create a new file called bootstrap, because it's a bootstrap based thing, /header.js. And I'm just going to go to the headers, just copy this whole thing, paste it over here. I'll quickly explain what I'm doing here. So first thing is I'm inputting the dark parameter from here. This param, I'm going to convert it into a Boolean way. And if this is perfectly good, then if it is through the value, I'm going to set dark as dark. This is not available in TypeScript, because if this is a Boolean thing, you cannot convert it into a type string. Okay, so don't try to use this with TypeScript. It is only JavaScript, exclusive for JavaScript. Okay, so if you are giving true or through the value, it becomes dark, and this becomes light in case of true the false the value. And we are changing it in the class name, which says navbar dark or navbar light, bg dark or bg light. So this is what happens in the header.js. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create some more files for the header and app for the CSS styles. So what I'm following is I'm following the same component logic here. Whatever the folder structure I have here, I'm doing the same thing in the styles as well. So I'm going to have a app.css, and then I'm going to have a bootstrap/header.css. Okay, now in the app.css, let's go remove the header. So in the header.css, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put header, margin bottom, 15 pixels, and that's it. So here I'm going to add this header.js and header.css implemented bootstrap header navbar. It's actually the navbar code. So I just used header as the name. And if we go to the index.css, I can import app. And inside this, oh, this is correct, right? Sorry. CSS styles. That's interesting. So index and app are in the same folder. Oh, I shouldn't use URL. I don't know why everything is screwing up today. So sorry about that. Import app. So if I open this, this is the app. So inside the app, I'm going to import header. It's not header. It's supposed to be bootstrap/header. Okay, so this will go to this one. So if I do this, we can see that this is not the header really. Now I'm going to implement this header inside our application. So getting rid of this H1, I'm going to use header. Just shows the interface. So if I save it, run it again, header, nope, doesn't work. Sometimes this will not work. Today is the time. From bootstrap header. And now I can use an header here. How many of you want a dark header? How many of you want a light header? Please tell me. So you got this job portal here, which is looking cool. How many of you want a dark portal? How many of you want a dark header? How many of you want a light header? We can see Satvik as being the first person to give us dark. So let's try dark. So it is not going to be a huge rocket science. It's just dark -true. That's it. Boom. See, there's a dark mode, there's a light mode. And if we add the class names as well, like let's add another class name called, this is coming from the bootstrap. So it's going to be justify content center. Boom. So it's centrally aligned. So now what we are going to do is we have got our job portal here. We have got our header here, navbar here, but this navbar doesn't have this margin bottom. So I'm just going to give a header as the class, and here you go. So we have got this one. The margins are also coming up. So implemented the header and styles. So far we have done this. So I'm open for questions. I will also sync the changes so that you can all see it in our code as well. Once again, this is the URL for the code. And here you go. So let's go ahead with our chat. I'm stopping the screen share. And any questions, anything, what do you think so far? And do you need a second part?
Yes, I think we do. We can actually come up with episode 3 sometime soon.
Okay, we can do episode 3, episode 4, episode 5.
Yeah,
any number of episodes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Cool. So I hope it was really interesting. And
yes.
Today from yesterday, I have been doing a lot of things. So have a look at my YouTube channel as well. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Yeah. And thank you so much for coming in. And don't forget, those people who talked to me today, everyone would be receiving something really nice. People from Zoom, Sri, Deepti, and Ganesh, and obviously Janhavi and Satvik as well, because you both are the hosts. And at the same time, people who are in the chat, you will all be receiving something really cool. Just send me a quick request on LinkedIn, and we'll take it from there. And just mention that you are receiving something from me, something like that, from this particular VIT-AP's webinar or live stream or whatever you can call it. Okay, so don't forget to mention that. And cool. So I hope it was great.
Yeah. It was great. Well, yeah, and it's now the time to conclude this session. But before we do so, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to you, of course, for havhaving bring together this workshop. And it was our pleasure having you. And we'll hope to see you all again. Stay safe and bye-bye.
Okay, there are a couple of questions from the chat. So from YouTube, there is can you please elaborate what you are doing? Okay, in quick sense, we were trying to create a full stack job portal. It's a full stack JavaScript, React.js and Node.js application. And we will be working on a small backend API. We created a simple job portal. We haven't done anything so far, like other than adding a header. The next steps will be creating the navigation and routing in the single page application, firing the Ajax calls to the API that we just created, and two-factor authentication, if it is possible, we will do. And then there is this memorable info trick, which we will be using. It was actually done using the Lloyds Bank's authentication system, which we can try to do that same thing. I'll tell you the exact how it is being implemented or something like that. Sign up, sign in, sign out, all these usual things. So this is supposed to be the whole agenda for today, but we were able to do only half of it because of the time constraint. And any other questions? I'm open for questions. The GitHub repository, all the links have been shared with you. And any questions you can ask. I'm open for questions. Thank you, Satvik. Cool.
Yeah,
so I guess
finally, like, share, and subscribe to Praveen.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.
And subscribe to his channel. I think it's your name, right? Praveen Kumar. The channel's name is your name.
Praveen Kumar Purushothaman is the channel's name. It's Praveen Science. If you type in Praveen Science on YouTube, you will be able to find it out. And there are half the people they are watching in my channel.
Yeah.
Hit the subscribe button. Thank you. And finally, before going, stay home, stay safe, stay away from Corona.
Yeah.
See you all.
See you all.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Have a nice day and have a nice weekend. Yes, Satvik.
You had the host permissions, right? Could you end the meeting?
I'll take care.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. See you.
Thank
Bye.
You.